On Monday morning last week, Chinese AI company DeepSeek released a groundbreaking AI model that caused a panic in the US stock market. Nvidia, the chip-making behemoth, stock went down 17%. The Nasdaq closed Monday down 3%. Both have rebounded since then. But many have described DeepSeek's launch as a Sputnik moment. And I guess I'm sort of curious whether you guys think this is a Sputnik moment, whether AI is the next moon race, but also, more importantly, what is a Sputnik moment? Did Sputnik turn out to actually be important now that, we're many years on? David, I'm going to start with you because obviously you were there when Sputnik launched.
I was present at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. 50 years old at the time. Look, when you look back at the Sputnik moment, I do think the Sputnik moment was, in hindsight, very, very important for the Cold War. And the Cold War, where we ultimately were victorious, one of the reasons why we were victorious ultimately in the Cold War was we had an immense national initiative to ramp up American technology, ramp up American capabilities to the point where we began to, over time, build this extraordinary economic and qualitative military advantage over the Soviet Union that it just could
Can you,
not
David,
keep
for
up
those
with.
of us who are a lot younger, can you just explain what the Sputnik moment was?
Oh, sorry. So the Sputnik moment was the Soviets shocked the world by putting a satellite, a little very primitive satellite, into orbit before the United States. And this was taking place at a time when the United States was investing a lot of money, time, energy into its rocket and missile development. And we were seeing in the States this just spectacular series of failures, rockets blowing up on launching pads. If you remember the old movie, The Right Stuff, based on the Tom Wolfe book, there's this montage of like exploding Atlas rockets and that we were struggling. And then Sputnik happens. It's a giant shock.
I would like to recommend, by the way, the movie October Sky, which is an incredible movie. I even showed it to Nate, who's only 4, and he is into it. And it is about Homer Hickam.
Homer Hickam, yeah.
Yeah, who's going to become one of the guys to rise to the Sputnik moment. But it actually does show the Sputnik moment in the movie as well, and sort of America's response as they are sitting in one of the earliest times where there's like a shared television moment, stunned as they see the Russians launch that.
Absolutely stunned. Spurs on our side a tremendous burst of energy and activity. And it really was the state of the space programs between the Soviet Union and the United States really was almost symbolic of the emerging vast divide between the two systems. Because by the end of the Soviet Union, we're sending up space shuttles on a very regular basis, and they are in a state of economic and technological collapse. And so to say Sputnik moment in many ways is the starter's pistol. It's not the end. It's not the finish line. It's the starter's pistol.
Right, we
and
win.
From that standpoint, right. From that standpoint, when I hear people say Sputnik moment, my thought is game on, not game over, if that makes sense.
Ooh, that's such a good way to put it. I feel like you're a coach in the locker room. When I hear that, I hear game on, not game over. Let's go, boys. Steve, are Sputnik moments a thing? Is that term something we should put to bed?
I think David's description is a good one. I believe I saw Mark Andreessen tweet that this was the founder of Netscape, big venture capitalist, tweet that this was our Sputnik moment on AI, moments after the DeepSeek was revealed in all its glory. Look, I don't think it would be fair to say that there was kind of complacency in our race to building and perfecting AI before this moment. I think if you look at the investments that we're making in AI, if you look at certainly the private sector growth in AI tech, over the the past many years, it was clear that we were taking it seriously. But this provided sort of a kick in the ass, I think, in some ways, because people were surprised by what DeepSeek was able to do. And I think in the days since the revelation, we've seen some of the flaws, we've seen some of the limits. Maybe it doesn't look quite as good or ominous a development as it had in those, those first earliest moments. But I think if people take it to be what David says, game on rather than game over, I think that's the right response.
Mike, what are your favorite movies about these old people's lives?
I've got my grandfather was a NASA engineer, so whenever we would watch these, my dad would always be pointing out, "Oh yeah, that was the VAB and the all these things."
Where was he based?
Patrick at Cape Canaveral.
Not Houston. Sad for him not to be at the Johnson Space Center.
No, but he was there when they launched.
Blah blah. We in Houston don't really care about the launches so much.
Okay, let's take this fight offline. I have an investment in it. I don't know. I remain skeptical about AI, mostly because I don't understand it. And I hold on to my ignorance as a shield against people who say this is a really big deal. I mean, on the one hand, I kind of have to believe people who understand this stuff when they say it's a big deal, but I have yet to really kind of grok what it all means and how it will change a whole bunch of aspects of our lives, and why. I mean, I kind of understand why this particular Chinese development was an innovation on what we're already doing, but in a way that the space program was a kind of a tangible thing. It was about getting to space, getting to the moon eventually, and sort of exploration, and also developing, the kind of weapons programs that might help if the Cold War became hot. I'm waiting to learn and understand, and maybe you guys will all inform me why I'm an ignoramus about this. I just want to see some proof that this has those kind of implications for the future that the space race and the sort of competing space programs had. Also, will there be kind of side innovations like baby formula and Tang, the way that the space program, what else, like cordless vacuums, I think came.
The freeze-dried little yogurt puffs that my baby eats are definitely from astronaut, ice cream and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean all of the, I think like tennis shoes are basically come from some once you show me the raft of cool innovations like that come from AI, then I'll buy in. So I'm sorry if I don't want to end this on a Luddite kind of perspective. But
Too late.
That's where I come from.
I wanted to see, this was a quiz actually, just to see if Steve and David, and I think I know the answer to this, so listeners, take your bets now. Between Steve and David, which one of them knows what the term to grok means? Who's buzzing in first here?
I mean, I've seen it around.
To grok. To grok.
I've gotten this really wrong. I thought David would be all over it, and I am just...
Yeah, that's it's from Stranger in a Strange Land.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's from Stranger in a Strange Land.
But it's on Twitter. It's like there's a grok thing, right?
Yeah, it's all like everything, like all of these tech bros, they take stuff from the literature they like, but they don't even really understand it. They don't even grok it in a way. No, grok.
Are
is
you
just
saying
like
grok or
it's
take
like
grok?
No.
Grok.
To grok. GROK.
To grok.
Oh yeah. I know what that is. I thought you said take rock. I was like, what is
nope,
take
that's drugs.
rock?
Grok.
Grok. Yeah, I know what grok is. Yeah.
Okay.
I can use it in a sentence.
I feel like I've only really heard people actually use it. Not, ironically or whatever, but only in Silicon Valley. Like you're right, Mike. My Silicon Valley friends all use it like it's a totally normal, huge part of their vocabulary.
Well, like Robert Heinlein was basically like a kind of a crazy right winger and all of this stuff. It was, it's a thing. It's a thing in that.
It's definitely a thing.
I like. It's a very useful word, actually. It's
I
understanding
grok that.
things at a very kind of deep and total, almost 360-degree perspective.
There's very
hard to
little I
explain.
grok. I think then that's a bummer. Okay.
It makes two of us.
I don't know. I'd take rock.
I was so confused. I grok.
All right.
One thing I can say is I grok the Lord of the Rings, man. Like, absolutely.
We know,
Same.
David. We know.